So if you're a run and gun solo filmmaker who is on a budget, this is, in my opinion, one of the best rigs you can build out for the money. Hello and welcome to another rig breakdown for the FX3/FX30. I'm going to be specifically talking today about why I chose what I chose, including the camera, the FX30. I was debating for a long time between the FX3 and the FX30, but as you'll see in this video, there are a lot of reasons to go with the FX30 over the FX3, and almost all of them have dollar signs attached. All right, so let's get started. I'm not gonna bore you with putting the cage back on. I'm leaving it on the camera, but we've got the FX30 with the small rig cage. I am a fan of a lot of different cage manufacturers, depending on what camera it is. For this one, I went with the small rig. It just had everything I wanted at the price I was looking for. So I don't want size, but I do want a little bit of mass and density. So this is why I went with the small rig V-mount battery plate. It's just a little L bracket. It's got Arca Swiss on the bottom. The cage already has Arca Swiss on the bottom. And you just slide this bad boy on, lock it in place, boom, you're ready for a battery. And we'll get to the whole cabling and power setup later. Next, for the rigging option, I used the Condor Blue Talon XL, I think, in black. Truly one of the best design handles I have used. I've tried quite a few. They either don't have the right balance point, they're too big, they're too small. There's so many little things that this handle just does right. And of course, I appreciate the NATO compatibility that also works perfect. Just slide it on and tighten it down. Another thing I really like about all these pieces is they are a quick latch and then remove. For the battery plate, the handle, everything I can just quickly take on and off depending what I'm doing. Next, I have this little swivel mount for my monitor. And then the last piece of rigging that I have already gone back and forth between using because it's quite heavy is this little Nicey rig plate that goes on the bottom. And it's mostly just so the stability of the camera when you set it down. So yeah, it just screws onto the bottom of the little L mount. What I would say is if you really feel like you need something like this, or if you're gonna get bigger lenses for this kit, go ahead and get it. It's only like 20 something bucks. There is a much more expensive version that is like $100. I would definitely not recommend that. But yeah, if it doesn't seem like something you need, definitely skip it. Okay, so these are all the basic rigging points. Next up is going to be my monitor. I already had the Atomos Ninja 5, so I'm gonna use that. I am looking to save some money. So if I didn't have the Atomos Ninja 5, I believe they make a monitor that doesn't record. I really don't even use the record feature very often. It's just the brightest monitor I own, and I often shoot in daylight. So, okay, next up after monitor is going to be lenses. And this is actually one of the most important parts of this kit. This is why I chose the FX30, because Sigma has their contemporary zoom lenses that are a continuous f2.8. I've got the 18 to 50 and I've got the 10 to 18. And the reason I went with the FX30 is because of these lenses. If I wanted to get comparable lenses in this range that do this good of autofocus for the FX3, I would be most likely spending an extra 2 to 4 grand, depending on what lenses I got. Just the quality, the speed, and the range that I can get from these Sigmas on this crop sensor is almost the entire reasoning for this build. These lenses have been really good so far. Image quality is great, and they have an amazing close focus that is so incredibly useful for me. And I'm very, very happy with the autofocus performance as well. I have felt that it is almost or just as good as a native Sony mount lens. Okay, here's from my perspective. We got my old Z-Cam that I'm gonna be selling soon, rest in peace. And then let me just show you the close focus on this really quick. I mean, my shadow is getting in the shot before I'm losing focus. Like that's insane. Next up, I have my Freewell variable ND. This is another thing that I just had. I didn't want to drop another $100 on, so that's why I'm using this. I got step-up rings for both of my lenses. Next up for battery, I will admit I kind of got a little influencered on this. It's the small rig mini V-mount $99. I think it's the first version. But the reason I got this is I can do DTAP and I can do USB-C. And I will show you why I need that. Okay, so for the power situation, I have to be pretty versatile. I have extra V-mount batteries, but if for some reason I run out or something didn't get charged the night before, I want to be able to use multiple sources of power. So I have these Sony NPF batteries that will work for the back of the Atomos Ninja. I also have this cool Viltrox one that has an input USB-C. You can charge it through USB-C, and that's going to be the primary way I'm going to charge this monitor. This monitor is a bit power hungry, so having the option to just plug in USB-C is very useful. I'm using the Condor Blue dummy battery to DTAP for the Sony, so we'll put that in here. A lovely little design choice from the Condor Blue cables is to help make sure you don't brick the camera. They've got this little indicator light that lets you know if you've plugged it in the right way, because DTAP, if you force it, you can accidentally brick your camera. So that's plugged in and giving me power that should last pretty much all day. I also have the Condor Blue dummy battery for the NPF that can go in the back of here if for some reason I'm using just internal batteries for the camera. And the next thing is the thing I am recording on right now, so I can't show you every piece of it, but it's the DJI wireless lavs. They just really thought through like so much of this design. Charging case is great, the auto pairing is great, the 32-bit float is great, the internal recording is great. There's so many great things. I really do like that. As far as memory, I'm just recording on SDs, so I just have a bunch of high-speed SD cards. Still the best bang for your buck as far as that goes. And then as far as HDMI cables go, I have this little right angle one that I've had forever. I don't even remember where it came from. I am actually mostly using the Condor Blue, the coiled cable, because I find it just gets less in my way. Yeah, this one is fine, but it's a little bit of the wrong direction, so I will put it on for purposes of showing you. And then last but not least is this little TT Artisans lens. It's a 35mm f/0.95, which is super cool because the FX30 doesn't have as good of low light as the FX3, but I still want to be able to shoot in some of those situations. So if it gets down and dirty and I need to be shooting by moonlight, I can whip out this lens and still at least get the shot, even if it's just in manual focus. I haven't used this lens a ton, so I can't give a crazy opinion on if I endorse it or not, but so far the tests I have shot, they look lovely, and it's f/0.95, so you get that crazy bokeh and that crazy low light. Also, it was like only 200 bucks. I will have a price breakdown of all of these things on screen. Again, I'm not 100% sure because I am reusing some of these items. Thank you, Goose, just gonna be right in the camera. Come on, bud. I was reusing a few of these items. In my opinion, this is extremely versatile. Super good for recording lots of different things. You've got the weight that gives you that really nice cinematic handheld look, and you've got the autofocus that just makes life so much easier when you can actually use it. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions about the kit. I am about to go shoot a week-long commercial gig with this camera, and I think I'll make a full review of the camera after I actually go use it for a professional gig. But I have a feeling that this is going to kick ass. It's gonna be super quick, and it just feels nice in the hand. It feels solid. It doesn't feel too heavy. It's like just heavy enough. It's got that perfect weight for quick but solid movements. So genuinely so excited. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I think I'm gonna be doing a full review of this camera after I go shoot with it for a week. But yeah, I don't know, feels right, feels good. Let me know what you guys think, and subscribe. Yeah, subscribe, huh? All right, that's it.